All right, we'll call the City Council meeting for Thursday, January 19th, 2023 at 6 p.m. to order. Logan Dixon did not make it, it does not look like, so Larry Powell is going to give us our invocation. Thank you, Larry, for stepping up.
Our Father in heaven, we thank you for this beautiful day you've given us. We thank you for the great nation we live in. We thank you, Lord, for the freedoms we enjoy. Thank you for the members that serve us on this council. Your word says, if any person lack wisdom, let them ask of God, who gives liberally without upbraiding. So we seek your wisdom tonight and every meeting in the future, that we might know your will for this city, this community. These things we ask in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Gina Sculp, can you do a roll call?
Mr. George? Here. Mr. Harris? Here. Ms. Young? Here. Mr. Olson? Here. Mr. Bradley?
Here.
Mr. Westcott?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Gray?
Here.
Mr. Keller?
Present.
Mayor Teague?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
And myself. You have a quorum.
All right. All right, the first item is, were you guys able to read the minutes from last December 15th, 22 meeting?
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed say no. Minutes approved. Ms. Robin Johnson, could you give us the financial report? Who seconded,
Financial report for the
seconded
City of
that?
Russellville.
I did.
Sean, I'm sorry. That was Mr. Westcott and then second by Mr. Harris. Sorry, apologize.
General fund revenues for December were $1,496,201, which was 3% above budget. Tax receipts were $955,893. Franchise fees and permits were $83,175. Tax revenue comparison, we ended up the year an increase over prior year for the city of 7.3% and county 5.9%. We were ahead of budget for city by 3.1% and county by 2.8%. General fund expenditures for December were $2,003,372. Personnel-related expenditures were $1,590,381. That expense was higher than normal due to 3 pay periods and a stipend paid out. Utilities and other were $412,991. It was 4.3% below budget. Street fund revenues for December were $1,037,473. New sales tax was $610,794. State turnback and ad valorem tax was $189,914. Half-cent road sales tax was $67,279. Interest was $116,176. General fund reimbursements were $45,743. School crossing light reimbursement by RSD was $6,599. Utility reimbursements were $668, and street cutting permits were $300. Street operating revenue is 19.5% above year-to-date projections. Street fund expenditures for December, the operation spent $236,588. Personnel-related expenses were $193,087. Again, the 3 pay periods and stipend. Utilities and other were $43,501. Street capital spending was $263,237 for a wheel excavator and a Ventrax mower. The half-cent sales tax was $187,376 on the schoolhouse trail, and sales tax spending was $571,098 for pavement preservation, Phase 2 sidewalk maintenance, 8th Street sidewalks, and East Circle Drive drainage maintenance. December revenues for economic development was $844,667. That was due primarily to the sale of farm acreage for $793,996. New sales tax were $87,256, and interest was $17,415. December expenditures were $372,721. The final on the City Park splash pad payment was $345,124. We reimbursed Arkansas Valley Alliance $5,535, and reimbursed Workforce Development Services $22,062. Balance of the various economic development funds as of December 31st were the 2003 fund, $2,320,769.95. The 2007 fund is $1,043,023.42. The 2014 fund was $234,499.81, and the 2021 fund is $1,527,766.32. So the total of economic development funds that we have is $5,126,059.50. Capital asset December revenues was $1,850 for interest. December expenditures were $57,600. We actually received a replacement vehicle for our RPD, purchased network infrastructure equipment, some spending on Hickey Pool renovation, and engineering on a hangar door replacement at the airport. When you look at the 2021 1-cent sales tax inception to date, for the street fund, we received $14,079,738, spent $3,228,915, and we have a balance of $10,850,823. For the RFD/RPD capital, we have received $2,012,389. We spent $400,102. We have a balance of $1,612,286. For parks, we've received $2,643,930, spent $582,178, so we have a balance of $2,061,752. For economic development capital, we've received $2,017,361, spent $489,595, and have a balance of $1,527,766. That's a lot of information. Does anybody have any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you for being so thorough. Thank you. All right, on to the mayor's report. At this time, I would like to introduce one of our newest department head to our team. Jason Duval, would you stand? He is our new airport director. He is going to be taking Keith Frazier's place.
Welcome. Nice. Good.
Jason is an original Pottsville boy and married a Russellville girl, and he's retired lieutenant colonel of the United States Army, and so we're excited to have him. So I think he's going to be a great team member. I strongly encourage councilmen to take a chance to meet him if you get a chance before we leave. So I just want to take that opportunity to introduce Jason. I appreciate you. Thank you. Also, I'd like to, items 1 through 5, if you guys don't object, I'd like to just get a motion to pass all 5 of these at one time instead of reading each of them individually. They're basically appointments or reappointments to different commissions.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, I got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
And that was for items 1 through 5.
Items 1 through 5.
Yes.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Items 1 through 5 pass. There is no departmental report. Personnel Committee, do you have a report this week?
Just the items that will be coming up on the agenda tonight. I think the discussion there will suffice.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gray. Finance Committee, Mr. Westcott.
Thank you, Mayor, from our meeting last week. Item number 1 is consideration of a resolution that would authorize the destruction of old accounting records, and we present item number 1 as a motion to adopt.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. All opposed? Item 1 passes.
Item number 2 is consideration of a resolution that would provide for the revision of the Street Fund 2023 budgets for departments 202, 203, 204, 205, and 221. And we present item number 2 as a motion to adopt.
All in favor?
Aye. Is there any discussion?
Oh,
On
any
these.
discussion?
Yeah.
We need discussion?
Yeah.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 2 passes.
Item number 3 is consideration of a resolution that would direct the finance director to transfer $750,000 from the general fund to the emergency reserve. And we present item number 3 as a motion to adopt.
In-
It's already seconded.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 3 passes.
Number 4 is an appropriation request. It's actually a line item transfer. It's a pass-through from the city's street fund in the amount of $10,050.88, and we present item number 4 as a motion to adopt.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item 4 passes.
Item number 5 is an appropriation request. It's a pass-through funding from the state to provide a $5,000 stipend for eligible police officers plus their taxes in the amount of $16,147.50, and we present item number 5 as a motion to adopt.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 5 passes.
Item number 6 is an appropriation request from the Parks and Rec portion of the 3/8 sales tax in the amount of $32,486 to be used to purchase the 20-by-20 pavilion for the Confederate Mothers Park, and we present item number 6 as a motion to adopt.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 6 passes.
Item number 7 is an appropriation request. It's a line item transfer between various accounts within department budgets to correct year-end balances. And we present item number 7 as a motion to adopt.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 7 passes.
Item number 8 is consideration of a resolution that would authorize the mayor and city clerk treasurer to enter into an agreement for engineering to provide civil design plans to replace the traffic signals at Main Street and Arkansas Avenue. And we present item number 8 as a motion to adopt.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 8 passes.
Items number 9 and 9A together. Number 9 is an appropriation request from the reserve of the city general fund. This is a grant pass-through, rather, by the way, in the amount of $46,935.40 to be used to purchase equipment for the police department. This is a Department of Public Safety equipment grant, and number 9A is the resolution that would accept and expend an Arkansas Department of Public Safety grant. So 9 and 9A, and we present those as a motion to adopt.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 9 and 9A pass.
Okay. From our meeting this evening, items number 1 and 1A, very similarly to the last one. Number 1 is an appropriation request from the City Capital Asset Fund, the sum of $18,000 to be used for the ADA Fishing Piers project for the community fishing pond at Pleasant View Park. And number 1A is a resolution that would authorize the mayor and city clerk treasurer and the finance director and the Parks and Rec director to apply for that 80-20 matching grant with the Game and Fish Commission. And we present items number 1 and 1A to the full council as a motion to adopt.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 1 and item 1A pass.
Moving on to item number 4 is an appropriation request from the City General Fund 2022 year-end carryover balance, the sum of $8,410.68 to be used to fund a salary adjustment for the executive assistant due to additional responsibilities. And we present item number 4 as a motion to adopt.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 4 passes.
Item number 5 is an appropriation request from the 2022 carryover budget from the general fund, the sum of $68,164.10. This is to be used to fund the grant administrator position, and we present item number 5 as a motion to adopt.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 5 passes.
Number 6 is an appropriation request from the 2022 carryover budget, the amount of $50,449.80 to be used to fund the accounting clerk receptionist position, and we present item number 6 as a motion to adopt.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 6 passes.
Moving back up to items number 2 and 3. Number 2 is consideration of a resolution for the revision of the mayor's office and finance department budget for the city. They would add a finance department receptionist line item to that budget, and we present item number 2 as a motion to adopt.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 2 passes.
Item number 3 is consideration of a resolution for the revision of the mayor's office and finance department budget for the city of Russellville that would add a grant administrator line item to that budget, and we present item number 3 as a motion to adopt.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 3 will pass.
Mayor, that's the last on our agenda. I yield the floor back to you.
Thank you, sir. We don't have any old business this week. On to new business. Item 1A is a consideration of an ordinance vacating and abandoning a 15-foot of North Hartford right-of-way along Lot 7, Block 3, JL Shin addition to the city of Russellville, Arkansas, and for other purposes. This is submitted by Don Stout on behalf of Rachel Hardister. Well, we now open a public hearing. Mr. Stout, you've signed up to speak, I believe. If you would come to the microphone, and you have 3 minutes to speak. You the only one to speak? Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Stout.
We have submitted this through the Planning Commission and had approval, and now it's before the City Council. We would like to request, if possible, that the emergency clause be enacted on this with your approval. We'd like to get started, and time is very valuable right now. Our owner has a window between Valentine's Day and Thanksgiving for us to do the construction, and we need all of it. So our request is that we enact the emergency clause.
All right, thank you, Mr. Stout.
Any questions, Mayor?
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Stout? Thank you, sir. I will now close the public hearing. Do we have a motion?
Mayor, I move that we suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirement, read item number 1A one time only by title with a short explanation.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item 1A will pass. That's suspended the rule. Yeah, you're right. I apologize. I'm sorry. Okay. We will suspend the rules, and you'll read that, Trey. I apologize.
An ordinance vacating and abandoning 15 feet of North Hartford right-of-way along Lot 7, Block 3, JL Shin addition, City of Russellville, Arkansas, and for other purposes. This ordinance was passed would abandon the 15 feet right-of-way known as North Hartford right-of-way along Lot 7, Block 3 of the JL Shin addition, as further shown in the diagram associated with this resolution.
Motion to adopt.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 1A will pass.
Mayor, I have a question, if I may.
Yes, sir.
In regard to the emergency clause request. In Section 6 of this ordinance is in regard to the emergency clause, and the emergency expressed was to promote development within the city. And I'm going to move here in just a moment that we do enact it, but that is pretty vague, and I would hope that moving forward, the emergency could be better. I mean, because there really needs to be a genuine emergency before we say, hey, please enact the emergency clause. So that being said, I move to enact the emergency clause, even though it's vague.
We have a second. You have a second? You got a second, Mr. Olson? Any discussion on that?
I mean, just along the same lines, like, I want to move this along, but I mean, I was under the impression that the emergency clause needed to be used if there was an issue of health, safety, or welfare of the community. And I want them to be able to move forward as quickly as possible. But if we've not been presented with a reasoning that meets the threshold of health, safety, and welfare of the community, then I think we're setting the dangerous precedents. Again, and we ask them and we tell them, this is what we need to know in order to be able to do this. And if that threshold isn't met, the next time someone comes in and says, I want the emergency clause because I want to start building tomorrow, we've set the precedent that we're going to do that as this council.
Well, and pardon me, I don't mind doing it this evening because I certainly understand that there's a lot of new people on both sides regarding this decision. But I would hope that certainly moving forward, it would be with the understanding that this group expects and the people deserve a better explanation of what that emergency would be.
Any more? All in favor?
Aye?
Any opposed?
No.
We got Mr. Keller, okay. That was item 1A will pass with the emergency clause enacted. Okay. Item 2A is consideration of an ordinance vacating and abandoning a 10-foot utility easement west and north of Lot 56 Marina Heights, City of Russellville, Arkansas, and for other purposes. This is submitted by Alan Tammy Sotomayor. I will now open a public hearing. Is anyone here to speak? Nope. No one here to speak, so we will now close the public hearing. All right. So where am I at here, Trey? Do we have a motion?
Mayor, I move on number 2A that we suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirement, read one time only by title with a short explanation.
You have a second on that? Okay, second. All in favor?
Aye?
Any opposed? All right. Mr. Smith, would you read item 2A?
An ordinance vacating and abandoning a 10-foot utility easement west and north of Lot 56, Marina Heights, City of Russellville, Arkansas. For the purposes this ordinance, if passed, would abandon a 10-foot utility easement west and north of Lot 56, Marina Heights subdivision is further shown with the attached aerial with this resolution.
Motion to adopt?
Second. All in favor?
Aye?
Any opposed? All right, item 2A passes. There is a request that the emergency clause be enacted. Do we have a motion on that?
Mayor, in regard to that, would you refresh my memory? What was the emergency expressed at the Planning Commission, if anybody knows? Because
Could I
it's-
ask Ms. John Dahl to come up and express that, or explain that to us? Thank you, Mr. Westcott.
Absolutely. So on this, they submitted a letter via email. They cannot move forward with building their accessory structure as proposed because this is an easement through the middle of their backyard. And so they are waiting to be able to move forward with that. And time is kind of money for some of these applicants, and that is why they're requesting emergency clauses. I've made a note, and we will make sure that it's much clearer in the future.
Thank you, Ms. John Doe.
Mayor, that being said, I do move that we enact the emergency clause for item number 2A.
Second. Any discussion on that?
I'm just once again going to say that the reason that we're being asked to enact the emergency clause is because it's going to save them money. It does not meet the threshold of providing for the safety, welfare, and well-being of the community. It does not meet the threshold for an emergency clause. I don't want to cause someone to have their project to cost more. But when a developer comes in here next month and says, I want an emergency clause right now because it's going to save me money, we are setting the precedent that we will do it for, that's the threshold that we as a body are going to meet. If it's going to save you $1, we'll speed it up.
Ms. John Dahl just stated that she took note and she would make that clear the next time. I appreciate that, Mr. Keller.
Maybe there's a balance there somewhere we can strike.
We can find a balance. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
No, Mr. Keller. Item 2A will pass with the emergency clause enacted. We're going to move on to item 4 and come back to item 3 and 3A. I would like to, if possible, read item 4 and 5 together. They're very similar. Let's look at this. Consideration of a resolution granting special use permit to operate a convenience store with the fuel cells at 1600 South Elmira and for other purposes. And a consideration, item 5 is consideration of a resolution granting a special use permit to operate a convenience store with fuel cells at 1100 North Arkansas and for other purposes.
Motion to approve on items number 4 and 5.
All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? This is a motion to approve, or is this a motion to read this?
Well, it's resolution.
This is a resolution, okay, thank you. Oh, I got you there, thank you. Item 6 is a consideration of a resolution requiring the rehabilitation by agreement or removal or raising of an unoccupied dilapidated structure, restoring the property of the Arkansas Fire Prevention Code and city codes, thereby protecting the health, safety, and welfare of the public, providing a lien on the property to recover costs associated with the removal of structure upon non-payment and other purposes regarding property located at 814 West 4th Street.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Did he sign up to speak? Yes, sir. You're Mr. Frankhouse is the property owner, so Mr. Frankhouse, if you would approach the microphone, you'd have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. We have a little house, had some deferred maintenance needed on it. In the last 10 days, we've completed all of the things on the list that was given to us, except for getting a plumber in to do a couple plumbing things. And because of the big storms that were happening at the end of December, the plumbers have been tied up, and we couldn't get a plumber in until this coming Tuesday to finish a couple plumbing issues for the house. And all I'm asking for is that we have a week or so just for the plumber to finish that, which is pretty much the only thing left on the house, before having to enter into an expensive rehabilitation agreement.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Frankhouse?
Yes, I have a question.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Frankhouse, in this paperwork, and I'm assuming that you have a copy there with you, there is a case and inspections details report regarding this property, and it is dated, it has an open date of June 22nd of 2022. Are you familiar with that? Have you seen a copy of that?
I have seen a copy of that. There was a tenant in the house, and evidently they had a junky yard back then. Had a lot of junk, and they, I guess they cleaned that up.
Okay. But you were made aware of this back no less than 7 months ago, is that right?
I personally don't
July,
remember
August, September,
them,
October,
you know,
November,
because
December, January.
Code
Since
officers
January, 7
will
months?
contact the person
Okay.
living in the house first, and then if they don't get a good response from them, then they will contact us. or any
So
other
they
owner of
they
property.
did not contact you in June of 2022?
Not that I personally remember,
Okay,
but I do know that it was corrected, so,
okay. Thank you.
So you've completed all the project or all the deficiencies on this location with the exception of the plumber that you're having come in next
right,
week?
we have Williams Plumbing coming in on Tuesday to fix a drain underneath the kitchen sink. And then yesterday, City Inspector Bill Clark asked us if we would have him do a sewer pressure test while he was there. And with those two things, we should not have any problems with the faucet whatsoever.
I'm looking at the photos, and some of these are pretty serious. Looks like structural things, so all of these have been fixed?
Yes, sir.
When were they repaired?
Most of it was carbon, just in the last week. We've only had between 7 and 10 days' notice of this, and we jumped on it with our people. We got,
Who made these, if you don't mind me asking, who made these repairs?
who made them?
Yes,
My people made the repairs. I've got my contractor's license,
okay.
and I operate under my contractor's license.
So you don't have any receipts or anything showing expenditures made to make those repairs?
Oh, sure I could. I mean, you got to buy materials, and I have to pay payroll, so yes.
Is there anybody from code enforcement here tonight that can
Ms.
speak?
John Dahl, or you or Perry, would one of you like to approach? Thank you, Mr. Frankhouse.
I will let Perry speak mostly to this. However, I did take the case file and created a PowerPoint presentation for just showing you the pictures so that you can see. You have them there, but then these also include pictures taken as late as today. Perry did say that there are still some items that are outstanding. And so this is the property of how it looked with the damage, exposed plumbing, the disconnected plumbing. That pipe didn't even go, it didn't connect. It went into the ground. There were plumbing issues, flooring issues, holes, improper windows, more plumbing. But as you see, he has started repairs. If we approve this tonight, it gives him 7 days to enter into an agreement or 30 days to complete the repairs. And based on the progress that he has made, he can probably make those within the 30 days. We have found that with this owner, this is the only way to get those repairs completed so that tenants living in these houses, oh, I'm sorry, I can start that again. So that tenants living in these houses do not have to live in these situations. I mean, you can tell from these pictures that there were significant issues with this home. But not all of the repairs have been made. There's just a short list, and Perry could respond to that.
Okay, Perry, would you please come to the mic?
As the last time I went over to the house today, we still have to have the plumbing issues done. And he has the backsplash of the bathroom to finish out. He's got quite a bit done already. He's done a lot in the last 3 days. You know. I think he could finish it in, if he got 30 days.
Perry has a roof, and when were these pictures? So the roof and everything's been,
He's tore off the roof, put new decking down, put new shingles up.
So you're comfortable that if, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna add, in you and Ms. John Doe's opinion, if this passes, he will have enough time to make those repairs and move forward?
Yes, sir. You still got to let the building inspector inspect it too.
What happens if he does not make it in that 30-day mark? What happens there?
Go on to
It would be what?
Demolition, then we'll have to go on and move on to demolition.
Okay.
Okay, and so this agreement that he would enter into with the city would be detailed with a firm deadline, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So in the 30 days, is that 30 days to complete and then be re-inspected, or can he,
Yes, sir. Completely-
can he complete it in 30 days, then on day
I believe-
31,
I
the
believe he
inspector
could.
would
I
come
believe he
in?
could.
Mr. Frankos, do you think 30 days is sufficient time for you to be able to complete these repairs?
I say we could do it in 7.
So 30 days would be plenty of time then?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, Mr. Frankhouse, actually, you get 37 days. You got 7 days to say yes and 30 days to do it. So we're going to give you an extra 7 days, make it 37 days total. Any reason why we should not move forward with this and ask for this rehab agreement? Based on our experience and our history, is there any reason why we should not want to move forward on passing this tonight?
I can't think of a reason, sir.
Wonderful, thank you very much.
All right, any more discussion? All right, thank you, guys. Thank you, Mr. Frankhouse. Thank you, Perry. Thank you, Sarah. All right, so we had a motion and a second, correct? All in favor?
Hang on, do we
No.
need to amend
Do we need to amend?
our
Oh,
motion? that-
Okay,
With the, I think we need a new motion.
okay.
So the motion on number 6, correct? My
Yeah,
motion
we
was
had,
to
we had a
approve.
motion and a second, but Mr. Gray's wanting to amend it. That was what he's saying.
Well, I just want to make sure that we've got our, are we covered with a motion tray? Will that give us the 30 days by law? Is that by statute do that? Is that good enough?
The 30 days is to either rehab or remove the structure. And if it's not done in 30 days, if you pass this, then he'll have to remove it, so. And then, but he has 7 days to enter an agreement with the city. So he's got the option under the resolution that's passed, either within 7 days to enter an agreement, or he can try and get it fixed within 30 days. But after 30, if it's not fixed, it has to be removed.
So, Mr. Parliamentarian, is the current motion good enough to accomplish that?
As just to adopt,
Yes.
if you believe he can get it done in 30 days.
Okay. All right, I withdraw any amendment, so.
So we had a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, item 6 will pass. All right, jumping back up to item 3 and 3A.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move that we read both items 3 and 3A first of 3 times. Or, I'm sorry. I move to suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirement, read items 3 and 3A the first of 3 times. By title only, and short explanation, yeah.
I'll second that.
Could I make a motion for informal discussion before? Okay. Can he make the motion that?
Yes, because it takes priority over a main motion.
Okay.
Which is put to adopt.
So we got a motion from Mr. Harris to have informal
Motion to discuss? I'll
Second.
second that.
Second, all right. Mr. Harris?
I know over the, I don't know, last year, and I do appreciate Justin putting these, you know, he's worked through this ordinance and tried to make it work. We've been split on the issue, primarily because of, you know, some instances that I see that, you know, occur in our county. Friday, and I hate to use a critical incident for anything, but I mean, I could just keep going on with you know, pit bull bites in our county. You know, Friday was a very, you know, some pit bulls got a hold of a man and mauled him, and I'm sure that, you know, that was it's been on the news, but anyways, I would really like the council to consider, just really looking at this. And I know that I've beat a dead horse on it, but I really would, for the safety and the health of our city, for us just to really look at this. So a guy told me earlier today, he said, all dogs bite, but do you want to be bit by a lizard or do you want to be bit by an alligator? So.
Sean, I understand that you and I don't see eye to eye on this, and we've talked about it a lot. But I want to say, I agree with you. I think that the council should keep talking about this, which is why the motion tonight was to read it the first of 3 times, which allows us to continue to talk about this. So by voting to read it tonight, it accomplishes exactly what you want to do, which is to continue to talk about it, to make that decision.
And I appreciate that. By reading it, at least opening up the dialogue, the first of 3 readings, it gives us an opportunity at the next agenda prep meeting to talk about it more at length if you desire. Okay?
Anyone else?
I think there are 47 pages of code that some of the newer council members, including myself, may not have had enough extensive time. I think it would give enough time for our new liaison to the animal control to really get in touch with them and discuss what they think about the new code. And I think we really need to take a serious look at how events like that happened the other day, because under my understanding in this new code, some of those concerns, Sean, that you had would have been at least addressed in this new code. So I think if we all would spend time reading the new code and speaking with our animal control and get their thoughts about it, we could come together next month and really kind of hit it hard. But I'm for reading it at least one time so we can get it started.
So, any more discussion? Mr. Keller had a motion. Does he need to make that motion again, or are we good just to get a second?
I still second it.
So we got a second from Mr. Westcott. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Was that Mr. Harris? Okay, all right. All right. Mr. Trey, could you read items 3 and 3A?
In order to adopt a revised city animal control code by reference for the city of Russellville, Arkansas, and for other purposes, this ordinance, if passed, would revise the current animal control code for the city of Russellville. It would lift the banning of pit bulls that is currently in effect with the current code, and would set up a new category called dangerous dogs or dangerous animals that would be required, which is defined, and if such an animal fell under the definition, required to be licensed through the Animal Control Department and would be expected to conform to certain requirements, and sets out a new set of fines for violations of the revised code. The second one, item 3A, let me get to it here.
That's a long one.
Yeah. An ordinance repealing ordinance number 1918, the ban of specific breeds of dogs within the city limits and for other matters pertaining thereto. This ordinance, if passed, would repeal ordinance number 1918 and also the part of the current animal control code that bans the specific breed of pit bulls within the city limits of Russellville.
All right. Does anyone have anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.